Grace Tame, born the 28th of December 1994, is an Australian activist and advocate for survivors of sexual assault. Tame was named 2021 Australian of the Year on the 25th of January 2021. Abuse and Aftermath. Tame was a dual scholarship holder at St. Michael's Collegiate Girls' School in Hobart, and had been diagnosed with anorexia in year 10. She was groomed when she was 15 and then repeatedly sexually abused by her 58-year-old teacher Nicholas Bester. Although the school was found to have had multiple opportunities to intervene, the abuse did not stop until Tame reported her attacker. Nicholas Bester was arrested and convicted of the offense of maintaining a sexual relationship with someone under the age of 17, a crime, Tame argued, that needed to be renamed as in other jurisdictions due to its misleading use of the word relationship for abuse. He was also sentenced for possessing child pornography. In sentencing Tame's abuser, Justice Helen Wood said Tame had been particularly vulnerable given her mental state, and that her abuser knew her psychological condition was precarious, and had betrayed the trust of the child's parents and the school's trust in an utterly blatant fashion. At the time of the abuse, Tame had undiagnosed autism spectrum disorder. In 2017, social commentator Bettina Arndt conducted an interview with Tame's abuser claiming sexually provocative behavior from female students. Tame criticized Arndt for supporting her abuser, accusing her of trivializing and laughing off his crime, saying, "Not only is the interview disturbing because it gives a platform to a pedophile. It's not a truthful interview." Arndt did not seek out Tame for her side of the story, and published her name and photo without consent. Her abuser had spoken publicly about the case many times, but Tame was gagged by Tasmanian law. He was subsequently jailed again for the production of child exploitation material, after describing how he sexually abused Tame online. Advocacy Tasmania's Evidence Act had prohibited publication of information identifying survivors of sexual assault since 2001. In practice, this prevented Tame and other survivors speaking publicly about their experiences, even as Tame's abuser bragged about his crimes on social media. Tame's case led to journalist and sexual assault survivor advocate Nina Funnell working alongside Tame to create a campaign called #LetHerSpeak, in partnership with Mark Lawyers and End Rape on Campus Australia, seeking to overturn this law and a similar law in the Northern Territory. The campaign attracted global support from celebrities including Alyssa Milano, Tara Moss and John Cleese, and from leaders of the Me Too movement. In August 2019, Tame spoke out for the first time after the campaign obtained a court order on her behalf through the Supreme Court of Tasmania, winning Tame an exemption from the gag law. She was the first female sexual assault survivor in Tasmania to win a court order to speak about her experience. In October 2019, in response to the #LetHerSpeak campaign led by Funnell and featuring Tame, Attorney General of Tasmania Elise Archer announced that legislation would be amended to allow sexual assault survivors to publicly speak out. Archer also announced planned changes to the wording of the crime, noting that the word relationship has connotations of consent. In April 2020, the law was changed to allow Tasmanian survivors to speak out. Tame has become an advocate for others, focusing on helping them understand grooming and psychological manipulation and breaking down the stigmas associated with sexual assault. She has assisted the Los Angeles Human Trafficking Squad with understanding how child grooming works. Tame advocates education as a means of primary prevention of child sex abuse, rather than too heavily focusing on responses, which can fuel the unconscious belief that child sexual abuse is just a fact of life that we have to accept in our society. Tame wants to eradicate victim blaming and normalize speaking out, and says greater consistency is needed between federal and state laws. On the 15th of March 2021, Tame led the Women's March for Justice event in Hobart. Awards and honors. In October 2020, Tame was named Tasmanian Australian of the Year 2021. She said, "I could be wrong, but I don't think that a survivor of rape has ever been awarded in such a way, and that's huge. It's hugely empowering for that community, recognizing and normalizing the act of speaking out. There's no shame in surviving. The shame sits at the feet of predators, of perpetrators of these crimes." On the eve of Australia Day 2021, she was named Australian of the Year. The panel said, "Grace has demonstrated extraordinary courage, using her voice to push for legal reform and raise public awareness about the impacts of sexual violence. She is the first Tasmanian recipient of the award and the first as a public survivor of sexual assault." Upon receiving the award, she said, "All survivors of child sexual abuse, this is for us. When we share, we heal. Together we can end child sexual abuse." I remember him saying, "Don't make a sound. Well, hear me now, using my voice amongst a chorus of voices that will not be silenced." Her speech was praised as powerful and extraordinary. Public Life Tame featured on the cover of the May 2021 Australian issue of Marie Claire magazine. She was the first non-celebrity to feature on the magazine's cover in its 25-year history. A portrait of Tame by Kirsty Nielsen was a finalist in the 2021 Archibald Art Prize. Nielsen was inspired by Tame's passion, strength, and bravery in playing an instrumental role in changing Tasmania's gag law. In 2021, Tame was named as one of Time magazine's Next Generation Leaders, and by the Australian Financial Review as one of the 10 most culturally powerful people in Australia in 2021. On Australia Day 2022, Tame was photographed with a frosty expression while meeting Prime Minister Scott Morrison. Several commentators criticized this, calling her childish and rude, but others praised her integrity. Tame herself stated that the survival of abuse culture is dependent on submissive smiles and self-defeating surrenders, and she was not willing to wear the consequences of civility for the sake of civility. Personal life. Tame's father is former Tasmanian cricketer Michael Tame. In 2013, Tame dropped out of St. Michael's Collegiate, and later re-enrolled at a different high school, from which she graduated with an ATAR of 98.3. She then moved to the United States, where she graduated from Santa Barbara City College with degrees in theater arts and liberal arts. In 2017, Tame married American actor Spencer Breslin. They later divorced on an unknown date. Since late 2020, she has been in a relationship with Tasmanian Max Heary. On the 22nd of January 2022, Tame announced her engagement to Heary via Instagram. Tame is a visual artist, and her clientele has included John Cleese. She is also a yoga teacher and long-distance runner, having won the 2020 Ross Marathon in a course record time. Further reading, Grace Tame, Australian of the Year 2021. Canberra, ACT, National Australia Day Council, 2021. Archived from the original on 13 March 2021. 2021 Australian of the Year Awards, Grace Tame. Canberra, ACT, National Museum of Australia, 2021. Archived from the original on 13 March 2021. Australian of the Year Grace Tame's full National Press Club address, video. YouTube, Canberra, ACT, ABC News Australia. 3 March 2021. Luscombe, Belinda, 27 May 2021. Times Next Generation Leaders, Grace Tame, Australia. Time magazine. Archived from the original on 4 October 2021. References.